Hi everybody, Joe Appello here. George Carter to my left. Joe and George talking sports here. We got, about a month hiatus here? We just coming in.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while.
Coming back, yeah. So, tough time of year. I would say that there's always something going on, but nothing major going on sports-wise. Obviously you got spring training baseball. Mm-hmm. You got the combine coming up. You got the thing about football.
NFL free agency.
Yeah, and no one can talk to anybody. It's another 2 more weeks. So
right.
You can't even.
And we're, let's see, this is March 4th. We're filming this. We're inside of 35 days till the Masters starts. So do you want to lead with golf? You want to talk golf now?
Absolutely.
Really?
Let's get over with.
Okay, coming up in golf, we got the first major of the year is on the LPGA Tour. It's the A&A Championship, which used to be the Kraft and Bisco, which years ago used to be the Dinah Shore. That's coming up towards the end of the month. And then kind of the rite of spring up here in New England is the Augusta National, hosts the Masters tournament every year.
That leads it off for the Ben?
That's the first major of the year. And again, being in this area, we're having an early spring this year. Courses are starting to open, but I mean, to me, that's always like I think one of the great ways to kind of start the season. Augusta's a beautiful golf course. Bobby Jones built it, back in the late 30s. Great tournament. Great. It's the only major on the men's tour that they play the same course every year.
The nicest course around, you think?
Oh, it's fantastic. Like I said, the cool thing is it's the only major it's the same course every year.
Okay.
So if you're a golf fan, you watch it every year. Years ago, you could only see the holes 10 through 18. Now the coverage goes all the way back to number 1. So you know what's coming. You know what holes are out there and everything. It's pretty neat. I actually had a chance to play there a couple times, which is, if I tell, I know this doesn't apply to you, but if I tell a golfer, I got to go down to Augusta and play golf down there. It's pretty nice to be able to say that because there's very few people.
How'd you swing that?
A good friend of mine happened to be a member. In fact, I just, as a coincidence would have it, I saw him earlier today. He's a member, so he took me down on a couple different occasions. Okay. Really great experience.
So that's how you get in there. You have a guest.
Oh, members only. Yeah, members only. Cabins right there. So we stayed at. The first year, it was back in 2000. We stayed at some new cabins that overlooked the first hole. And then the next time that we went, which was 2009, we actually stayed in the Eisenhower cabin, which was, they call them cabins. They're luxurious. But it was a house that's built right off the putting green. Wow. In fact, when you're watching the tournament, if you see the putting green, there's a house right behind it with like an eagle, like a bronze eagle. And that was the Eisenhower cabin. So it's pretty cool. You're sleeping and hanging out in a house that was built for a president. Wow. So it'd be one of those buildings that you normally would go into, and it'd be like the velvet rope. You can look in and look around, but we actually got to see it. So really, a great experience.
Sleep in the same bed that Eisenhower or something?
No. But I tell you what, though, I'm on the second floor. And I could look out the back window, and there's a par 3 course. So Wednesday of Augusta week, they have the par 3 tournament. It's very casual. A lot of players will have a wife or a girlfriend or a little kid caddy for them and stuff like that. But out of my bedroom window, I could see 7 tee, 8 green, 7 green, the 8th tee, and the 9th green. We're right there. And there's a little sitting room off of the bedroom, just a little tiny kind of an alcove. But there were paintings on the wall, painted by President Eisenhower. Wow. It was crazy. It's crazy. Wow. So yeah, good time. You have dinner in the clubhouse, and every table's 4 guys at every table. 1 guy wearing the green blazer because the members wear the green blazer, and then 3 guys in blue blazers and stuff. So a lot of fun. So that's coming up in April. Rory McIlroy will probably be the favorite going in. He's ranked number 1 in the world. Oh. He's come close there a few times.
Those rankings change constantly, don't they?
It's like a 2-year rolling average, weighted more towards the current year. So it's about as complicated as the BCS. Oh. But Rory is now number 1. Like I say, he's been close there a couple times. He's won the PGA Championship a few times. He won the U.S. Open. So it'd be nice feather in his cap to get another major and to get a major that he doesn't have yet. Wow. So,
you see, the biggest thing in golf, is in theory be able to play under pressure. Would you say? At
that level, yeah. I think at that level,
everybody can play. Obviously,
those guys. If you've, pretty much. There's some exemptions that say at Augusta, like there's some amateur tournaments around the world that if you win that, you get in. But of the professional players, they're so close skill level.
Yeah.
But it's
They
exactly
do
right.
actually like mental health exercises and psychology and things like that. And
Most of the players nowadays will have, kind of almost an entourage or a team. Now, when I say entourage, they don't always travel together.
Right.
But pretty much every player at that level, I'd say, the vast majority of them at some point have had some mental training from a sports psychologist of how to handle the pressure and stuff like that. And it's something that I deal with,
take a deep breath.
with my students. Yeah, take a deep breath. Rub some dirt on it.
That's all.
With some of my students, I have students that play professionally. I have students that play in college and stuff like that. And it's something that we have to talk about. And I think, if you're a golfer at home or if you're an athlete at home,
Any level, really.
I think, and what I always talk to my players about is the first level is awareness. Yeah. Are you aware that you're in a stress situation and you're physiologically you're changing, and then give them the tools to take care of it.
Right.
But that first step sounds pretty obvious.
Right.
There'd be a lot of cases where you talk to, I'll talk to a player after a round, and clearly sometimes I'm watching, sometimes I just, they'll tell me what happened afterwards, and I'll know that they get into that, that sympathetic state, that agitated state.
Yeah.
But in the moment, they don't necessarily realize it.
Yeah.
But at that level, the guys that play, years ago, the young players that came up, that developed and got their way onto the tour, the MO or the typical way it would happen is the young players would get themselves in a contention to win a tournament, and they'd kind of choke because they hadn't been there before.
Yeah.
And they'd have to get themselves into that position a number of times.
Oh my God, we're getting there.
Right. Oh yeah. And they start thinking, oh well, if I win this, I get an exemption for 2 years. I can pay off my mortgage. Whatever it happens to be. So they'd get into that position a couple times. Then they'd learn how to handle it.
Right.
And then they get to the next level. Okay, now I won a tournament. Now I'm going to win a major, and they go through the same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of these young guys coming onto the tour now have dealt with that pressure.
Right.
College golf is so much stronger than it used to be.
Right.
They'll play what's now the Korn Ferry Tour, which used to be the web.com. So they're used to being on a bigger stage, and they handle a lot better. But, that being said, Jordan Spieth came down the stretch a couple times at Augusta and kind of bungled it.
Okay.
On what seemingly are easy holes and things like that. Right. So we'll have a show before the Masters, and if you'll allow. What I'll do is I'll spotlight a couple holes. That way, when we're watching, you can say, "Oh, I remember George talking about like the 12th hole and the 13th hole," and there's certain things that you need to watch out for there. So, like I say, we're getting into
springtime and
high level golf on a national level and or a worldwide level, and we're starting to get into golf here in Connecticut.
It could be worse. It could be one of these guys that bought a nice truck with a plow on it for the wintertime, and they get to make a lot of money. Shoveling and plowing. And
I was hoarding rock salt back in November, figuring I could sell it at a premium now. But
so we're out of work.
A lot of people are out playing golf. A lot of courses in the area are open. Tungsten's Plantation's open. Blue Fox Run is open right down the street.
Okay, I guess. This is the last time we talked. I think Kobe Bryant had just passed the last time we talked, and they had the 224. They had the ceremony at the Staples Center, which was an amazing event. The level of talent in the room in the stadium was just out of control. They had certain people speak at it. And did you watch that at all?
I did see part of it. Yeah.
I thought Shaq was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He told the story about when Kobe was shooting too much. Did you hear that story?
No. Tell me.
Says they're playing together the Lakers, and he's shooting a lot, and a lot of guys are complaining that Kobe's shooting too much. And Shaq's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, he's just shooting every time he hits a ball." He goes, and Shaq's like, "What are you talking to him for?" Spread the ball. So Shaq goes to Kobe. He says, "Kobe, a lot of guys are upset. I passed the ball, not sharing it, and what do you think about that?" And so Shaq says, "There's no I in team," and Kobe's response was, "Yeah, but there's an ME in that, and that mother, So Shaq goes back to the guys. He goes, "He's not passing." So,
that's the way it's going to be.
It's what it is. That was very funny. And then Gino Auriemma spoke in reference to Gianna and how she was going to play for UConn. That and Hirasi spoke. Who else spoke? Michael Jordan was very emotional. Did you see him?
Yes, that
tears
was
coming down
powerful.
his eyes.
Yeah.
And Rob Pelinka spoke, which was allegedly, not allegedly, but Kobe's best friend. I guess he had texted him just before the crash. He was literally in a helicopter, and was asking Pelinka for a favor to help his friends, one of his friend's daughters, at a kind of like a internship somewhere.
Yeah.
And Pelinka says, "Yeah, we'll get on that." and then literally minutes later that he was gone. There's speculation that the pilot was pilot error, that he miscalculated where the hill was, and hit the hill, the crash, and just it was a quick descent, and
from it was at a really high speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like there was caution here.
Yeah. And you don't know how, I guess all the other helicopters and planes were canceled for that day based on visibility and whatnot. And so, you wonder, should they even have gone up there? And unfortunately.
Yeah, we had talked about that,
Yeah.
and probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Well, in hindsight,
Yeah, but anyway, I think the thing that struck me the most is that this but this guy was in the second part of his life, the second phase of his life, and
Yeah.
was just doing all kinds of good things for everyone.
Yep.
And he was obviously highly respected, and just a motivator and just a good guy.
and had overcome. Let's be honest. Early in his career, he was not an altar boy, and there were some accusations that went away.
Yeah.
But
And how his wife spoke so eloquently and kept her composure, basically, it was just beyond belief how she was able to do that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just a shame that something happens like that, and his legacy obviously will live on forever and will not be forgotten. But that's just
there was talk of replacing the Jerry West silhouette on the logo to Kobe.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know if you have to go that far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that was and LeBron James had spoke earlier at Staples Center. He did a very nice job too, and that was quite the moving ceremony for them.
Yeah.
But how does Vanessa, his wife, move on from that? Every day coming home and her daughter's out there and the whole family. So, and then I guess she's suing the helicopter company.
Sure.
Civil damages,
Unfortunately, that's all part of it, right? Something happens, and everybody's going to scramble that way. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, and NBA-wise, I actually been watching the NBA, and it is very, very balanced. It's very, very anyone's title to take at this point. The Lakers are still leading the West. The West is very strong. With the Clippers coming on, Clippers add a couple extra guys. They're very deep. They got 10 guys. Their second five is as good as maybe most starting fives in the NBA. And the Bucks, I think, are 40-8 as we speak, or they're on pace for 70 wins. 50-8, something like that. Yeah, they're on pace for 70 wins. They lost to the Heat down there the other night, but they've just been destroying people. Celtics go through some injuries right now with Taser sat out last night, and Kemba set up a couple of games. Kemba played, but Taser sat out though. He's got a bad knee. And then Gordon Hayward got hurt and didn't return the second half last night. So I don't know what's up with him, but it's a matter more of attrition going through the season, and left at the end who and then it's all seedings. Obviously, you got one plays 8, 2 plays 7, and so we want to try to avoid obviously the Bucks first round, and it looks like maybe Bucks will be number 1, Toronto or Boston number 2, and so on. But the NBA is on certain nights it's very fun to watch, but they share the basketball, play the right way. Other times it's too much one-on-one, and you'll see in some of these games like the Sixers were depleted with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were both out, and they played a couple of guys basically from the G League, and the one guy had Shake Milton had, I think, 39 or 41 points one game. Yeah, just because you got the shots and was able to take those shots. And all those guys could play, but can they play defense and do other parts of the game? It's a question. But did you watch the college at all?
College hoops?
Yeah.
Been watching, here and there a little bit. Do have to give a shout out to the University of Hartford women's basketball team, who had gone winless until the last game of the season.
Wow.
Beat Stony Brook. Stony Brook was, one of the top teams in the conference. They were 23-3, something like that. So the Lady Hawks have had a tough season, but they actually won their last home game of the season. Made it on SportsCenter because it was that big of an upset.
Okay.
So I didn't see the game, truth be told. But how about North Carolina? How can they figure out ways to lose games?
Up and down, yeah. They won. They beat Wake Forest the other night.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But yeah,
they lost the Duke game.
Yep.
with the guy makes the front end of the one-on-one, intentionally clanks the second one,
Trey Jones,
which
yeah.
never works.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we all try it. Never works. The guy hits it, and then I don't know, 3 or 4 days later, guy from Notre Dame chucks it in from half court to beat him at the end of the game.
Yeah,
I mean, they find. I mean, I think this could be the first year, probably in my lifetime, that they might not make it to the tournament.
Yeah, the thing is with them, I'm not a big Roy Williams fan. I think he's a great guy and a great like grandpa type guy.
Yep.
But as far as X's and O's, he just does it.
I think this could be the end of him.
He just does it. He should be get out. I mean, talent-wise, they're getting 2-3 McDonald's All-Americans every year.
Yeah.
You know, they've got pros.
Yeah, you got to do better with that.
And well, Cole Anthony was hurt for a good 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
Yeah.
He's back now, but they're playing a little bit better now. If they do a good job in the ACC tournament.
They've got to go on a run for the tournament.
If they win it, obviously they would make the tournament. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough one. I mean, in those ACC tournaments, you actually get a double bye, and you win one game, you're in the quarters already.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, that's where seeding really does matter. But you've got Florida State, Louisville, Duke, Virginia. They're all in the top 4 there. So those teams are going to battle it out. Virginia's a funny team because they win games 52-50, 55-54, and they just don't score a lot. But they're defensively they're tough, and they beat Duke.
That's a way to.
It's their style.
And that's the way to win tournaments. You know, to win tournament games. You know, that's the way to upset teams.
Yeah.
You know, you get these high-powered offenses. If you can shut them down, it's almost a throwback to back before there was a shot clock when you could shorten a game. You know, and just and do it that way.
Right now, Kansas is ranked number 1, and they're my pick as the best team. I like Gonzaga too. Gonzaga is some team that you don't even. Because they play in the West Coast and, the games start at 10, 11 o'clock, you're never going to see them play. Maybe on a Saturday night you can watch them. But generally speaking, you'll never see them during the week too much because everyone's in bed by 10 or 11. But I think Gonzaga is very, very good. They got good size. They got good guards. The competition is a little bit low level as far as some of these like Big Ten teams. But Gonzaga would be one of my picks to make the Final Four. Gonzaga, Kansas, and Kentucky. At Florida State, I would say by 4 top teams right now. Duke just doesn't have enough. They have Vernon Carey, who's kind of inconsistent. They have Trey Jones, a great point guard. But they have the guys around Duke they don't have enough other scorers.
Yeah, the depth.
They don't have the guys. It's funny. I'm watching Zion play at the pro level. I'm saying to myself, this guy is scoring 20 to 30 points a game against NBA pros in the low post. He didn't do that at all in college.
No.
I mean, why not?
No, and I mean, not that you have to go back to the archives, but I mean, I think I sat here and said I really questioned how good Zion would be in the NBA because he didn't show that.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, and they had Cam Reddish and R.J. Barrett, and with those 3 of those guys, and they had Trey Jones, and I mean, you would think that nobody would beat that team. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but they have. Zion's, I think, scored, 20 points or more in his first 10 games of his career.
Yeah.
Last 10 games, and he's averaging over 20 points a game. Only a couple other guys have done that, including Wilt Chamberlain, and I don't know, but he's so much fun to watch. I hope he lasts. I hope he doesn't get hurt. Doesn't get injured because he's just such a force inside. He had 25 last night. He had 32 the other night, the night before that. He's just. Pelicans are a nice little team. They're fun to watch. They have a lot of good young guys. Drew Holiday, and Brandon Ingram. Tough. A lot of offense, but defensively, you're giving up a lot of points.
Yeah.
There comes a point in the NBA where can you lock somebody down, and I don't know if they can do that.
Right.
So,
no, I agree. Yep.
So that's the thing. But anyway, back to college too, and then old St. Joe's there with.
Coach Calhoun?
They won 20 in a row or something.
Yeah.
20 in a row.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got a couple of players that are playing there that are way too good for that level, but that's what you need.
Yeah,
they went there to play for him.
And what's to say that they don't use it as a JUCO type of thing and transfer out? And I don't think Calhoun would. You can release a kid without forcing him to miss a year.
Yeah.
I still think it's a great story.
It really
haven't met Coach a number of times. He's never been anything but nice and kind, and to watch him go back to his go back to the roots and actually coach basketball.
So I told you he came in the subway one day.
Yeah.
And I introduced myself, talked to him, and one of the kids that played high school, Jake Smith, said, why was Coach Calhoun there? I said, he was scared to get a BLT. He wasn't there to see me.
Why else would he be there?
Yeah, he was hungry.
Maybe he had a coupon.
He would say he was hungry, so it's funny. He goes, I'm not UConn anymore. I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, what do you think I am?
Yeah.
He didn't know.
I didn't just crawl from under.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know, Yeah, exactly.
I met Kevin Nagandi was there one day.
Oh, no kidding.
The lead anchor on ESPN. What a nice guy he is.
Yeah.
He lives near, I think it's Avon.
Yep. And Mike Golick is in from time to time, right?
He's in there time to time. Yeah, I haven't seen him lately, but
we might have to have a new segment on the show.
I got to put a who's who on the wall there.
Joe's brush with fame.
Yeah, Nagandi was a very, very nice guy. He does all the main anchors, sports at 6 o'clock at night, and a lot of basketball stuff. He's such a very nice guy.
Great.
He was there with his father and his brother one day.
Oh, look at him.
But yeah, a very nice guy. Of course, I'm the only guy in the world who know who the heck he is. Anyway, let's talk about the combine. The combine is interesting because it's going on now, obviously, and they have a different.
This is the NFL combine, which is potential draft picks, showing their stuff, sprinting,
fashion show for
jumping.
Yeah. The only negative thing I'll say about the combine is it's become such an event that guys actually train for the combine.
Yeah.
Now
it's like studying for the test.
Yeah, and so they're sitting there a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks before the combine, doing all the drills that they do there. So their times, their measurements might be a little, inflated or make them, but then again, for them it's a business decision where they're going to make more money if they show these things. My favorite guy in the combine so far is Isaiah Simmons, linebacker from Clemson, who I hope to God the Giants take at number 4. He's like 6'3", 6'4", 210. No, 6'4", about 220, 230, somewhere in that range. Actually can play anywhere defensively. He played linebacker and also defensive back for the Clemson Tigers. And we had a 4.38 40, I think, last week. Just a freak athlete, just a good guy too. So I'm hoping the Giants target him. Now, the interesting talk is saying that the Redskins at 2 might take Tua. And not once they give up on Haskins, but do something similar that the Cardinals did with Kyler Murray and Josh Rosen, where they took Murray and then they traded Rosen to the Dolphins. I think if they think that Tua is as good as he could be, and he's healthy as so he can stay in the field, to me it's worth the pick. I'd be okay if the Giants took him, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he'll be left there then, because you got the number 1 obviously going to be Joe Burrow, and he's the type of guy. They said, would you not go to Cincinnati? He goes, "Why? I'll go whoever picks me." And, he's from Ohio, so why not? So he's going to go there, and then number 2. They say it would be Chase Young, on the Redskins. And number 3, at Detroit, maybe Jeff Okudah from Ohio State, shutdown defensive back. And then number 4 for the Giants, I hope it's Simmons. But there's a big lineman they're looking at from Iowa, big tackle. But here's the next thing, and then where's Tom Brady going? Tom Brady is the key to all this free agency, because that's gonna start the ball rolling where everybody goes.
So the rumor came out today, and so here's my deal on rumors. A, they're rumors, but B, they started somewhere.
Yeah.
It just didn't come out of air, but Brady to the Niners, and then the Niners trade Garofalo to the Patriots?
Back to Patriots.
How does that make any sense if you're the 49ers?
It does not. Yeah.
You're going to rent, great, hey, Tom Brady's a great quarterback, but you're going to rent him for a year or two?
Yeah.
And then you got Garofalo, who's a young quarterback in a young program. They've got a lot of tools. They've got 5, 6, 7 years worth of great players.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me at all.
They also said you can go to Giants too, which is ridiculous. I mean, the most valid choices for me is obviously he returns to New England, but I think he's going to have to say to them, I need weapons. What do you got for me?
Yeah.
What's our plan? Wideouts, tight ends, whatever. You got to give me something to work with, and he's going to get paid no matter where he goes. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But and New England, the thing about New England is if he doesn't come back, who the heck is going to be their quarterback?
Maybe Garofalo.
Yeah. Maybe there's rumor that Andy Dalton goes there. The red rifle, the red popgun.
Yeah. Now, he hasn't had to do it, but Belichick has always found that plug-in, right? He's going to get that running. He's going to off the scrap heap, he's going to get that wide receiver or something like that to fill in those pieces. Now it's a whole different deal to get somebody to actually run the program. But I mean, Belichick to me he's almost like when Spurrier was in his heydays down in Florida. He's always going to have that guy, and he's going to piece it together and stuff like that. But hey, it wouldn't break my heart if they'd come down.
Did you see that
a notch or two?
Brady, Julian Edelman, and Jimmy Fallon were at the Syracuse game?
I did see that. Yeah.
And Edelman said he's coming back or something.
Can you imagine running those circles? Yeah, it's like me and you going to Farmington High School game. So back to Burrow for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the other thing about the combine is when you're like, well, Tua's not cleared medically yet, but if you're Joe Burrow, you're not throwing a ball. You go, you take your one-to-look test.
You don't get anything by it.
But they take all the measurements.
Yeah.
So it comes out that his hands are small.
Yeah.
So he puts on his Twitter account, I have to announce that I'm going to retire from football because my hands are too small.
Yeah.
He just made a joke of it, which I think is great because he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But it's funny. But it's amazing when, with the NFL, there's just not a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So they measure Joe Burrow's hands is 9 inches.
9 inches. Yeah.
Now it's 36 hours of conversation, and so he kind of runs with it and goes tongue in cheek with it.
Here's the Bengals, first pick. We're not taking Burrow.
Yeah.
We're taking Joe Mama that
He's
has
got 10 inch hands. But then they start announcing, the legendary quarterbacks now, how big are their hands and stuff like that. It's just, it's nuts. It's that slow news cycle type of story that comes out.
Yeah.
But you said Joe Burrow. I want to go back to that because I just thought that was a riot.
Yeah,
and that kid's going to be a superstar wherever he goes.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Now, if he goes to a real bad program, he might not win a lot of games.
I guess the thing we talked about last time, and you realize how old he is. He's older.
Yeah.
He's like 23, 24.
But he has that Peyton Manning type of presence.
Yeah, mentality and everything else.
So even if he, like you say, if he goes to a bad team for a while, stuff like that, guy's going to make a fortune with endorsements.
He's 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, they grow him big down there. Yeah.
Now, the thing is with Tua, obviously the whole thing is can he stay in the field? I think Tua is more talented than Burrow. But I just don't think you don't know about the durability and the injuries, the past injuries that he had. He's had 3 major injuries the last 3 years. Yeah. So can he stay in the field? That's the thing. You give him a good offensive line and run your offense the right way and try to keep him getting hit as much as possible, at least as possible. See what happens with him. But I think he's an immense talent that will be a tremendous quarterback. But is he worth a top 5 pick? That'll make or break you.
Yeah.
But it's a deep draft. Oh my God, especially wide receivers. God, they've got like 10 receivers that are just like top of the line. CeeDee Lamb. They got a couple of guys from LSU, Justin Jefferson from LSU, and some guys that are just like, they got the guys from Alabama. Henry Ruggs freaking ran a 4.2 40 for crying out loud. Yeah. And they got Jerry Jeudy, who was the best route runner in the whole draft. They've got guys there.
They had two linemen that did like 4.7 40.
Yeah. Guy from Georgia, from Louisville. Ran a 4.5 or a 5.1 40, which is unheard of. He was like, the guy's like 6'7", 350 or something like that. It's incredible. But there's the way they come out nowadays, how big is, and you look at the combine, and every running back is just totally jacked. They all look the same. They're just like immense, And I like Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. I think he's going to be a real good one. Yeah. He'd be my top pick. The thing is,
the way the league has changed, I think like a top, say you have a single-digit pick in the first round. It's pretty hard to take a running back now.
It is.
Because the guy just doesn't get that many touches.
Absolutely. And it's a 3-year window.
It's a 3-year window, but he's, back in the day, and I think it's certainly for the better life of the running back.
Yep.
But these guys, they're not going to get 35 carries a game anymore.
Right.
Which you had Earl Campbell getting 40 or whatever else.
And Derrick Henry's are few and far between.
You're going to use your 4, 5, or 6 pick or something for a guy who he's going to touch the ball 12 to 15 times a game. It's pretty tough to.
3 years, boop. Next 3 years, boop. And they just keep on. And there's so many of them. There's so many running backs. Yeah. I agree. Second, third round, different story. But you get your one guy.
I still say your big 3. Your quarterback, your left side lineman, and your Your wide receivers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are the three big spots.
Yeah.
And if you look at a lot of the mock drafts, that's the top of it is filled with those players.
The funny thing about the NFL draft is like your success is so contingent on that draft as opposed to baseball. You know, you drafted guys who are 16, 17, 18, 19, sometimes 21. You don't know how they're going to develop.
Oh, sure. I mean, you draft a 6-year-old kid, he goes off and he plays college, and you forget about him. Like, oh, hey, look at it, we got that guy.
Like the guy Yankee signed, this guy Domenico guy, 16 years old. Like he's like 5'11", 190, and they say, sweet string, whatever. And you don't know 5 years from now.
Sure.
Is he going to fill out or what? Anyway, so and then. NBA, if you don't draft the first round, you really don't even make the big squad.
Yeah.
So, football is just incredibly contingent on who you draft and where they go and what you're going to get in that draft, and that's why it's so fascinating. People are fascinated by the combine and everything else. I think. And you also see like the guys that get drafted most are guys from the best programs, Alabama, Clemson, and proven winners, guys that played in the big stage, and like you said about his pressure and whatnot, they're kind of immune to it. But also, let's get back to Brady a little bit. Where he goes will determine what everyone else does. Probably he goes first. So the rumor has he might go to Tennessee with Mike Rabel, who's his buddy.
Yep.
Good place to go. You got Derrick Henry. He's got a great offensive line.
Yep, I think we reported here on breaking news that he was looking at a prep school for his kids down in that area.
And then he's got the Chargers was another option, and the Raiders out west. But I don't know. I think the more I think about it, I think he returns to New England. Even though I said in the beginning I thought he was going to the Chargers, I think he returns to New England.
I think the Chargers have a really high pick this year. So again. Are they going to win now, or do they say
the Chargers like Tyrod Taylor, who's the heir apparent to Philip Rivers? He's a good little quarterback guy, and he's 5'11", but they like him, and they have to pay him, $40 million a year.
Yeah.
So they can use that money that they save on that to get other position players. So that's just a big thing. You can spend $40 million on one guy, or you can spend X amount on 2, 3, 4 different guys.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of economics and what makes the most sense. That's why.
Well, Burrow. I think everybody agrees Burrow's the first quarterback to go. Then you got Tua. Then you got Herbert from Oregon. Yeah, there's some pretty good quarterbacks.
Absolutely. Say maybe 4 or 5 in the first round.
Right.
So
if you're the Chargers, you got Tyrod Taylor. Do you kind of go to the back of that? In that case, you could trade down. But
get somebody like a Jacob Eason.
Yeah.
Another guy that's getting a lot of tread now. It's really surging up the draft board is just Julian Love from Utah State. Mm-hmm. Another guy that's kind of come out of nowhere, and they compare him to Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. Same type of resume.
Yep.
So he's another guy that's getting a lot of. He'd be the 4th quarterback in the first round, they say, to be picked behind Tua, Joe Burrow, and Herbert.
And Herbert, yeah.
And then Julian Love, and then you've got Jacob Eason, and you've got a few other guys that are in the mix. But it depends. Teams draft because of need. They draft because of player variability. So many factors involved. It's such a tough.
Yeah, and then there's the best athlete on the board. If you're stacked, you have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams, if you're that high up on the draft board, there's key spots that have to be filled. So
hopefully the Jets will get a wideout. They need a big wideout.
They do. They need.
And there are a lot of them in there. So hopefully their first pick will go that way.
Yeah.
I hope. Anyway.
Yep.
For them.
I've seen getting down there. Still defensive backs. A lot of these mock drafts are still talking offensive line.
What do you think of Le'Veon Bell's year this year for the Jets? I mean, did you like it?
Didn't touch the ball enough.
Yeah.
Didn't touch the ball enough. And I don't know if that's scheme.
What do you think?
I don't know. Was the scheme that they just didn't put him in there enough?
Yeah.
Was he not healthy enough? Was he not motivated enough?
Right.
But I mean, He's a heck of a running back,
Yeah.
and
Did the year off hurt him that much? Skill-wise? I don't know about that.
I was disappointed, though. To answer your question, I was disappointed
Yeah.
that he was not a big enough part of the offense.
Yeah.
And again, here's a guy who has the potential to do
He
something.
averaged 3.3 yards a carry, I think.
3.3 yards a carry, but he was averaging 10 to
Yeah.
15 touches.
true.
I mean, some of those were passes out of the backfield and stuff like that. And I looked at that as it's Darnold's second year.
Yeah.
They didn't really give him any downfield tools,
Yeah.
but at least, now we can establish a running game, and they really didn't do that for him. So it really didn't take the burden off of.
Then when he got hurt for those
Darnold.
5 games, threw them all. That's threw the season out of whack.
The front part of that season between him getting hurt and Darnold with mono and
Falk
stuff like
is your
that.
quarterback.
But now that being said, and we might have said this before, the AFC East, unless the Patriots just do something, if they get Brady back and they give him some tools and Gronk comes back or whatever else, the AFC is going to be a heck of a conference or a heck of a division.
The Buffalo Bills are going to contend with them forever now.
Buffalo Bills are strong, but if you look at the way the Jets and the Dolphins closed the season, you hit their last 6 to 8 games.
Absolutely.
They were legit teams.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Patriots, depending on what they do, might not make a big jump back to where they used to be.
They're always going to be the Patriots. So.
It might be worth. I might actually be worth my while to watch the whole season instead of checking out a Columbus Day.
Exactly. Instead of being a front runner there. Now Giants. It's interesting too, the CBA agreement they're talking about where they might play 17 games. Boy, that's, I got 2 thoughts there. First of all, 1 more game, okay, great, but you put the athlete at risk injury-wise, but they make more money. So I don't know how to play that. I think they're kind of like mixed on that as far as some guys love it, some guys don't. I think 17 games is enough. 16 games is enough. You know. If anything, maybe you cut them back a game too or something. I don't know. Or maybe cut it back a game and expand the playoffs or something. I don't know how to do that, but I mean that's a big CBA agreement coming up with them. So that's going to be interesting how that plays out. I know they're going to pay more money to the lesser guys, which is going to help a little bit to the higher draft, the lower draft choices there. So, but football is just I mean, your career could end, any practice day, any day.
Oh, sure.
That's the toughest part about that. Whereas the other sports, you get a chance to get some.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you're talking about guys going in later rounds. I mean, the odds of their career lasting more than 2 seasons is crazy.
Yeah, so many guys, and they got, these other leagues, XFL, and these other places where so many guys are waiting to get a chance.
Yeah.
So many guys waiting to get a chance. And if they get the chance, they see what they do with it.
Yeah.
But, so the offseason is full force. Again, Brady is the key. Say he goes back to New England. You got Philip Rivers just out there, but who wants Philip Rivers? I don't. The guy's 37, 38. His skills have so diminished so much. I mean, he's a shell of what he used to be. Yeah. And he had all the weapons in the world with the Chargers. So what did he do? Yeah. They won 4 games. So, I mean, I don't think Rivers.
Bad.
I would. And I'll tell you right now, Rivers is not going to mentor anybody. Those guys don't want to do that. He's not the kind of guy that's going to teach somebody how to play the position. I don't think so. Not at all. He wants to play.
He's too busy mentoring his 47 kids.
Exactly. He wants to play. He doesn't want to sit there around and be someone's best friend or whatever.
You take a look at like Mark Sanchez, the number of years that he played in the league. Yeah. There's going to be a spot for Rivers somewhere. Whether it's backup.
Problem is
money. Like you said, he wants to play.
He's not paying for $5 million. So
he's not happy with being the backup.
Mike's fun. So we'll see what happens with Rivers, and Andy Dalton's a free agent, so we'll see what happens with where he goes, what he does. I guess Ryan Tannehill is also a free agent. David, he hasn't signed yet back with. And Marcus Mariota actually could go somewhere too. So you've got a couple guys that are out there. AJ Green's a free agent on the Bengals, and Joe Burrow said he wants him to come back. Of course he does. That's one way to win over your top wideout.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Let's pay him. Okay,
Without
sure.
it out.
From some of your money. But the NFL is so interesting, and like I said, the draft is so integral in your success or demise as a franchise. Yeah. But I think Brady returns to New England. I think they make it work. I think they say, okay, give us 3 more years, pay you $40 million a year, get you as many weapons as we can.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll take a reduction in salary. I think he's had enough of that. And I think he'll be back in New England. I mean, he has to. If he leaves New England, they're throwing backwards for 3-4 years. I mean, he'll never come back from that, I think. And who's going to go there without him there? You know, I mean, so I think that's the big thing. You know, as a wide out, somebody might say, I want to go there and play, get a chance to win the championship and catch passes from him. But we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, baseball, you got preseason going full force here. I have not seen a Cespedes sighting. Have you, in a game? I know he's practicing.
No.
When are we going to see that guy play? Someday? A couple weeks?
This is your
say middle of March, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe middle of March.
I'm not going to hold my breath. I have, before we get into the good stuff about the Mets, you had to bring up Cespedes.
I had to.
I will say that Ahmed Rosario, who if you've watched the show, you know, I love the kid.
Love the guy.
14 at-bats hitless so far. And Edwin Diaz.
He doesn't want to peak too early.
Edwin Diaz, who I keep saying that this is a good deal. This is a good deal. 3.1 innings and an ERA of 9.
Nice.
First appearance, blown safe.
Familia.
Yeah, we're going to get that out of.
Familia, 30 pounds. He looks better.
Familia's got you know, he hasn't given up a run yet. So hey, you know. That being said.
I was telling you before, Tim Nebo was playing in spring training. He looks the part anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
he just on a total side note or whatever else. There was a, you know, if you follow sports at all, I mean, you know Tebow, who he is and what he stands for and things like that. He actually sponsored, like he put on a prom for mentally challenged kids.
Yeah.
Took the whole school, paid for everything. I mean, just fantastic.
He's a good guy.
Fantastic.
He is top shelf.
But the
he just got married. Miss Columbia or something. Something. Brazil.
On the bright side for the Mets, Syndergaard looks good. DeGrom looks good. Matt's got roughed up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's very early. Yeah. You know, some of these guys have 15, 16 at bats.
I think the big question
Jeff McNeil's raking already.
How about their batting order? How would you give me the batting order for the Mets for you?
You know, I mean, I still like Rosario in the leadoff. I like McNeil backing that up. And then you can get into the heart of the order. You can get your Alfonsos and Dominic Smiths and Conforto
you can go,
in the middle there.
McNeil, Nemo 1-2 too.
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
Yeah,
and keep Rosario down until he gets more acclimated.
Yeah,
and you got Conforto, and you've got I think the biggest key to the Mets too is Robinson Cano. If he does anything that he's capable of doing. Like the yesteryear.
My expectations of Cano is just a little bit above my expectations for Cespedes.
Well, you're realistic though. It's realistic. Those are realistic.
But he has that ability. So I look at that as,
what I'm saying.
Again, we don't need a second baseman. It'd be nice to nice to have that option.
Yeah.
But anything that he gives is
they win 90 games with him having a good year. They might win 95 with him having a great year. Same thing with Cespedes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And again, in that division, that's a tough division. But, you know, the over-under, I don't know what the over-under is for their wins this year, but I think it's somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah.
And, I mean, again, like everything else, you talk about injuries. Now, the Yankees already have Stan not going to make opening day.
Yeah.
Either is Judge. And then you've got Paxton still recovering. He might be back in May, though.
Yeah.
And then already they're down, you know, their two best hitters, not I would say best hitters, but two of the power hitters already. The good news is that he got Andujar playing left. Yep. He's learning that. And so you go with him out left, well, that's nice. Garner in center, and they got Talkman still around.
Yeah.
And they got Luke Voigt and
got some injuries.
Mike Fort injuries already. You know, the thing is, these guys are so, nowadays, they're so jacked, they're so put together, they're so tight that they have a tendency to get hurt all the time.
Yeah.
And and they got Torres playing short, and LeMahieu playing second, and Urshela playing third. The defense is solid. Luke Voigt's playing first, and then you've got Sanchez and Higashioka are the catchers. So,
yeah.
You know, you got Cole throwing 98 already. I mean, he's, you know the thing about Cole, he's never been hurt in 9 years. Believe that? Never been on a DL.
It's unheard of. Never
had any injuries, any surgeries. So,
yeah.
You know, for whatever reason. So hopefully he doesn't ever get hurt. But yeah, that's amazing that you see that.
Yeah.
But
so we got Severino is.
He's done.
Done for the year.
He's done for the year.
What's Aaron Judge? Talk to me about Aaron Judge.
He's got a shoulder issue, shoulder and pec issue. That he's having an MRI. I guess they're
questionable to be opening
nothing
day?
major, but no, I think he's going to miss opening day.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not counting on for opening day, put it that way.
Okay.
But he's another one. You're getting hurt already, and you haven't even played. You haven't even had any games. You haven't had any stretches.
Yeah.
I think the Angels are going to be interesting with. Did you see Mike Trout hit that golf ball the other day? Did you see that?
Hey, golfers are athletes.
Did you see that? Oh my God! You see that ball?
Yeah.
Like, look at rocket, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how far that was, but
Yeah, golfers are athletes. I'm telling you. Just saying, you laugh at me, but it's happening.
I never said they weren't. Never said they weren't.
Because you couldn't get the words out, you were laughing so hard.
No. But anyway, you got Trout and Anthony Rendon. They're going to be fun to watch too.
What about the Sox doing anything?
Boy, they've kind of stayed put.
They got rid of. They dealt away a lot of salary.
I guess they're going to lead off Benintendi and have Devers hit second. Mm-hmm. I guess Bogarts hits third. Moreland hits fourth, I guess. Brock Holt's not there anymore. He's gone too. I guess, and they got J.J. Martinez, of course, fourth or fifth. I don't know. Pitching wise, average pitch. Sales already got an issue already. He might not be ready for opening day.
Yeah.
Sales already.
Yeah.
Valdi, I haven't heard anything about him. So I think they're going to have a tough one. They're going to have a tough haul, especially in that division. You got Toronto Blue Jays, like all those up-and-coming young stars.
Yeah.
They're going to be tough. The Devil Rays had a good year last year, made the playoffs, almost went to the.
I think it's another year you don't have to worry about the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh my God! But they went down.
Possibly the worst
unbelievable
organization. I mean,
and lost Jonathan Vilmar, their second best player. He went to Miami or something.
Yeah.
They just, they still got Chris Davis though. Making $25 million a year bet, and 160 was bet last year. Amazing.
Hey, Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla, who's about as valuable as that.
It's true.
By the way, official note from the New York Mets on Yoenis Cespedes is taking live batting practice, doing outfield drills, but not running at full speed, not ready to play in games as of February 20th. That was the last update.
Unbelievable.
And then
they don't say much about him at all.
No.
Well, first member said he wasn't speaking to the media.
Yeah.
Then he said maybe he will. So, yeah.
And then a wild boar attacked him.
He can speak to the media, but just say, I'm not talking about the boar thing. I'm talking about baseball, and this year, let it go.
The media doesn't let that happen. It's like
they do that.
I mean, they're
what they do.
They're like a dog with a bone. They're going to get something. They're not going to get off of it. I mean, it's you see it. I saw a press conference just the other day where. They zoomed in on a college player or a college coach of one of his players, kind of John going at it.
Yeah.
And afterwards they asked him about it. And he's like, why we won the game.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where, and it was reading a story. The kid's parents love the coach because he holds the kid accountable and he's getting the most out of him. Yeah. But, if you're the media, you're going to run with that story.
Tom Izzo and it was Tom Izzo and his point guard.
Exactly.
Going at it.
Exactly. Yep.
Going at it.
Yep.
Because Winston went like this and said twice or something out of they were going at it.
Yeah.
And said it's the same thing.
But so he wins a big game, and in the post-game press conference, they don't want to talk about the win. They want to talk about, well, why were you yelling at your players?
That's what I talk about. Yeah. Let it go. Yeah. Even like when Zion played, the Pelicans played the Lakers a couple days ago, and the Lakers won, and Zion and LeBron had an embrace, and the reporters going, "What you guys talk about?" LeBron said, none of your business. I mean,
exactly.
We said, whatever.
That reminds me of a great golf story, but I'll tell that another time.
Save it. Gotta keep the viewers coming back. So Major League Baseball starts end of the month, I think.
Yeah.
March 30th, they start already.
Yep. Got some overseas games though?
28th, March. Pretty soon already, so 3 weeks. Got it, buddy. And obviously meaning nothing. And they gotta let these guys get ready on their own. Get ready on their own. I think the Yankees are going to be real strong again, though. No matter what, they got Jordan Montgomery. They got a couple guys. They got a bunch of young guys. I see guys like Severino and Paxton not playing, but it gives these young guys a chance to see what they can do.
Yeah,
go ahead to find out. Go ahead to find out. But,
March 26th,
first game,
opening day for the Mets.
Okay.
It'd be a nice warm day down in Flushing.
Oh my God! Yeah, you would think that the first week would be somewhere warm.
Yeah, they keep talking about it, and the problem with that is, and I think we've talked about it before. If you move everything south of the Mason-Dixon line or whatever else, you're screwing those teams because at the end of the season now they're going to be on the road too much. Yeah. So you take your chances.
You get the baseball with the you can't even hardly see their eyes.
And the hand warmers and
the freezing. I remember coaching high school baseball, and I hated first game. Your feet, your ears, your hands. You're like, all you want to do is go back in the bus, go home and get something to eat. And you want to be there.
Huge advantage to the pitchers.
Yeah.
Right? Because the last thing you want to do on those games is fight off that inside pitch, you know?
Yep.
One thing we haven't talked about in baseball yet was, on this show, was Vegas has set the over-under for hit by pitch for the Astros at, I think it's 86.
80-something, yeah.
Which I think is a little low because the Yankees were over 100 last year.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, over 100.
That's good job by you.
Good dig.
Yeah, you got that one.
But they, I mean, they're getting shelled in spring training.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys just getting.
Yeah, they're booing him like.
And I don't think it's going to go away.
I can't fathom going to a game and just booing incessantly. What is that a good time or what? No one can hear you.
I don't know. Certain people from certain parts of the country, they love it. They don't call it the Bronx cheer for nothing.
Yeah, so maybe let's see what they do all year.
Yeah.
They'll be good as usual.
Yeah, so Mets open at home on the 26th, March 28th, which is a Saturday, is also Pete Alonso Rookie of the Year bobblehead day. So maybe all sports with Joe and George will do a road trip.
I think they should sponsor us to go down there.
I think so. I think Nutmeg TV should.
We'll put the paperwork
put together a little road show.
Put the paperwork in. See what happens. Funny. So let's see what else is coming up. So basically, we'll continue with the NBA, college. March Madness is heading toward the end of the month.
Yep.
People kind of jockeying for position for their league playoffs, automatic bids, 4 in, 4 out. They're all trying to get state their case. So
when we come back in 2 weeks, we'll be really in the middle of all the college conference tournaments and stuff like that. Which now the bracket of 64 will start to take shape.
Right.
Which is always an exciting time.
I think 2 weeks from this past Sunday is a selection Sunday.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, so we'll have a chance.
They'll be able to see who's what. You really do want a top seed. I think right now you got Kansas, Gonzaga. Baylor's one, but they've got a couple other teams. Kentucky could be in the mix as far as that top seed. Virginia, I think it depends who does well in their tournaments.
Yeah.
But I think Gonzaga and Kansas are pretty much locks at this point.
I mean,
Michigan State's playing better.
They could get knocked out of a conference tournament early and still get a high seed. Not a 1 seed necessarily, but a high seed. Yeah.
Even like the 2 seed. You want to be a 4 seed, so you play the one in your division at some point.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But So did you see the special? A kid from a school that he played. He had some kind of disability, and they let him in the game.
Vermont.
Yeah, he scored a basket, and that was a big.
Highly touted recruit.
Yeah. Some kind of brain injury or something.
Yep. And it was actually able to score.
Yeah, he scored a point.
Very touching story. University of Vermont.
That's pretty neat. Yeah. That was pretty neat. The Catamounts, I think. Right? The Catamounts.
Yeah, that's in the America East, same conference as the University of Hartford Hawks.
Yeah. The UConn's been playing better. The men's, women are undefeated in their league. They're about the 4, 5, 6 seed right now. In the overall standing, so it'll be a challenge. But they've got the number 1 player in the country coming here next year, so a point guard. So we'll see. They're funny because they don't have any like a Tarasi, Super. They don't have like a standout player. Like you always had like one person that would.
But you got a great coach. Like I was mentioning about Belichick. I mean, and obviously Oram is at that level in a different sport where, Belichick is that good of a coach that he could piece something together, and I think Oram is that good of a coach.
Yep. So your pick is Rory McIlroy for the.
Early on. Okay. We'll have a show before that, but I like Rory for the. For the Masters.
And your boy Tommy Fleetwood almost did it.
No, he was right there. He was right there. I got a little.
I thought about you there.
He kind of tried to pull the hero shot at the end. There. But he left early. But on 18, he kind of had to go for it. And some people were saying, he should have laid up or whatever else. That's not his way.
Yeah.
He had a chance to hit the miracle shot and try to force a playoff. Yeah, you got to try.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, George, good job.
All right, Joe, thank you.
All right.
All right.
You got a boss. Thank you.